Every time she speaks, she gets less likable. There's some clip of her on the internet in her Snow White outfit saying, every hour I am in the outfit of Snow White wearing the dress. All 18 hours, I deserve to be paid for every single one.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her.
What really happened with Snow White? And is there somebody that we can blame? Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot were rarely together. And if they were there, they weren't really communicating, they were taking a picture, and then they were just going their separate ways. People were going, you know, what could have happened on this set to make this—
Brace yourself. Rachel Zegler is turning into a PR disaster Disney never saw coming. Her latest behavior has thrown the studio into chaos, forcing them to pull projects left and right. The damage she's doing isn't just bad, it's catastrophic. We're talking millions in losses and a company scrambling to figure out how to cut ties without making headlines. Rumors are flying that Disney may take the nuclear option, blacklisting her from future Hollywood roles altogether. So what's really going down? Stick around as we break down the fallout of the Rachel Zegler mess and ask, will Disney reboot Snow White with a totally new face?
okay, her singing was okay, but it was not what was needed for—
Just when it seemed things couldn't get more chaotic, news dropped that Snow White may end up as Disney's biggest live-action bomb. With a jaw-dropping $250 million budget, critics are now doubtful it'll even break even. And let's be real, Rachel Zegler's involvement is at the center of this storm. Her constant controversy leading up to release has done massive financial damage. Word is, Disney is so spooked by her effect on this film that they've put other live-action remakes like Tangled on ice indefinitely. It's gotten so bad, IMDb had to add a warning because Snow White is being torched with review bombs, currently sitting at a dismal 1.6 rating. Over 280,000 viewers slammed it with one-star reviews. Critics say Zegler's version of Snow White lacks soul, her acting comes off cold, and the rewritten story is a lifeless shadow of the original. Even the updated dwarfs feel pointless. Audiences, especially kids, left confused and disappointed, asking why this remake feels nothing like the classic they loved.
But I'm not. I didn't like it. Next, they slapped you with a random song right from the start that had no natural flow or entrance into the film. It was just bam, we're singing, and it came off really—
No surprise here, Rachel's tanked this film and her ties with Disney are in ruins. When Disney first announced her and Gal Gadot aka Wonder Woman were teaming up for Snow White, fans were pumped. On paper, it looked like a blockbuster in the making. Some even predicted it would outearn the 1937 classic. But then Rachel opened her mouth. Throughout the press tour, she came across as smug and dismissive, constantly belittling the original film, calling it outdated and irrelevant. It felt like she saw herself as some savior for the role, and fans weren't buying it. Snow White isn't just any character, it's the foundation of Disney history. The original film literally built the empire, and for her to throw shade at it? That struck a nerve.
$70 million on the film, the studio opted for a small LA premiere, held Saturday in the middle of the day with limited press. Zegler greeted children dressed as Snow White. She was not at Disneyland on Sunday, where Gal Gadot promoted the film, surrounded by children dressed as her character.
To make things worse, Rachel decided to dive into one of the most controversial topics imaginable, global politics, right in the middle of promoting the film. In August 2024, she posted pro-Palestine commentary tied to the Snow White trailer, causing immediate fallout. Gal Gadot, a former Israeli Defense Forces soldier and vocal supporter of Israel, was caught in the crossfire. Behind the scenes, Disney panicked. Insiders say XX were furious, and producer Mark Platt flew out to meet Rachel in person to manage the crisis. But by then, the damage was done. Tensions between the co-stars skyrocketed, and Rachel's tweet led to a chain reaction, including serious threats against Gal, prompting Disney to hire extra security. According to insiders, Rachel didn't grasp how much harm her post caused to the film, the team, and Gal. Things only deteriorated from there, and by the time the premiere rolled around, the Cold War between the stars was on full display. Gal didn't even bother showing up for the Spain premiere.
Despite my flaws and my cracks, I know in my heart that I will be okay.
Hold it, Rachel, and cut!
Reset it!
go, baby. That was the take.
Let's be honest, the chemistry was never there. Gal, a seasoned star and mother of 4, and Rachel, a rising newcomer, had absolutely nothing in common. And all they shared was this film, which went up in flames. Sources told People magazine that Gal kept her distance and saw Rachel's actions as reckless and immature. She believed in professionalism, Rachel brought drama. But Gal wasn't the only one blindsided. Andrew Burnap, who played the love interest, thought this was going to be his breakout role. He remembered the excitement of getting cast, thinking his life was about to change forever. But instead, Rachel publicly ridiculed his character, calling him a stalker during interviews. Her repeated jabs at the story and his role painted him as a creepy afterthought, and the damage was irreversible. What should have been a career highlight for Andrew turned into collateral damage in the Rachel Zegler saga.
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie, Andrew Burnap, great dude. It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood.
And that stalker comment? Yeah, it didn't just annoy fans, it hit the heart of Disney itself. David Hale Hand, son of the original Snow White supervising director, blasted Rachel for disrespecting the legacy his father helped build. The backlash became so intense that Disney forced Rachel to walk it back in an interview with Variety, trying to soften her stance. She claimed her words were taken out of context and insisted the love story was always part of the film. But by then, the damage was done. The trust was broken. So now the big question is, should Disney finally cut her loose for good? Let us know in the comments, and don't miss the next video where we dig into the latest celebrity chaos that'll leave your jaw on the floor.